It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Time struggling only further my conquest. Looking to the future, I wrote and printed the concept. Posted to the net, but that's just a piece of the mindset. Brand slow balling, I'm snowballing, get back to work. Got your favorite companies watching me, but they never chirp. Big names all of my stories, I see them studying. I probably could have helped them, I guess they stuck in they stubbornness. This shit is jokes. Independent living did it with the quotes. Been a hidden hand, sending lyrics, and it's been remote. From the home set up, these jokers, it's known beggars. You nothing without a squad. I'm fixing my phone settings, the lyricists, supremacists. The penmanship is limitless. I'm building businesses, aiming again. Since I've been in this, I'm 007, been cold since '07. How I do it? I was home alone, Kevin, goal setting, but now my goal setting, commentating, they fixating, light from the hand, the pins rate and forget waiting. I hit record, then I hit record. If a nigga play me on the mic, then I choke him with the cord, yeah. I'm sacrificing money here with every verse, giving punchlines to these rappers when I said it first, preaching to the choir, giving facts like we in the church. I'm just praying for the day it start to reimburse. True prerogative, they blew the entire budget, they do it, mind discussions, I'm zooming, they higher up, it's like Mr. Nolan, we should get this rolling. Tell me what you need, a check, pause, city colon. I'm tired of the games, fanning the flames, I'm making a change. You don't value what I'm bringing, then it's not an exchange. Only resolution I'm worried about is 4K. If you really want to party with me, then set up the play, bitch. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this evening. I don't have a lot of time, but I do want to cover this real quick. We're going to be getting into this whole aftermath of the Jess hilarious Loren LoRosa Breakfast Club drama and spectacle that took place last week. I told y'all, I don't know, it seemed like there might have been some method to the madness, definitely some sort of PR stunt behind it. You know, some people say they don't believe so. Some people feel like Jess hilarious emotions and everything were real on the show. And as true as that may be, the Breakfast Club has definitely utilized it to their advantage, and iHeart and all of the parties involved have used it to their advantage. Loren LoRosa has come out and announced her own show, but she's still remaining on the Breakfast Club. She's not leaving. Now we have Loren LoRosa and Jess Hilarious coming out doing a remix to The Boy Is Mine, talking about The Job Is Mine. So they're playing into it. They're now utilizing it as a promotional tactic to keep people tuned in to what's going on. So yeah, I still believe that there was a level of PR and marketing to what we ended up seeing on the show last week. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to say I do hope that they can figure things out in terms of, you know, their dynamic and chemistry moving forward on the show, because they're both going to be there. They're not leaving probably anytime soon. And ultimately, it doesn't have to be a back and forth, who do I like better, who's better thing, if they both can settle into their roles and find ways to be counterparts and bounce off of each other and create the best show possible. Now, with all that being said, we've got Angela Yee coming out, and she did an interview on TV, no less. It wasn't just an interview. She went on motherfucking national TV and did an interview giving her perspective of the situation. And she says, you know, she doesn't even understand the confusion about who was going to be in that spot, because it was her understanding that the Breakfast Club always intended to hire two new hosts. And we see two new hosts. So with that not being communicated to Jess Hilarious or the talent in the room, I think that's very interesting. Not that it necessarily had to be, but I think if it was properly communicated, then maybe we wouldn't have had the drama that we ended up entertaining last week. That's all I'm going to say. But let's go ahead and pull up this interview of Angela Yee. Here we go.
Leave. She's now launching a new podcast called The Latest with Loren LoRosa. Now, the show is described as an extension of her popular segment on The Breakfast Club, where she breaks down the latest in news and pop culture. I'll begin with your thoughts on that and the overall drama that we all heard on the airwaves.
Well, I would say this. When I initially left, they did say they were going to hire two people. So that was always the plan. So I'm going to be honest, I don't know what's communicated to anybody. I know Jess was out on maternity leave, and I know that's tough, too, coming back. I know she's expressed, you know, having a baby, postpartum, all of those things take a toll. And Loren works really hard. And Jess does, too. Like, she's on the road, and I think part of why they hired her was because of that. Like she does comedy shows, she goes on the road.
The
that adds a
visibility.
lot to the show.
Has a strong following.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times it is social media that tends to get people riled up. It's outside forces. It's not what's in the room, and that's what makes tension sometimes build. But what is good is when you can have a blow up and then work through it. And so we just have to see it publicly play out. But I think it looks like they're really working through it. And I feel like this can be an advantage because a lot of people can relate to blow-ups in the workplace, and then how do you move forward from that? Because sometimes the resentment can just build and build and build, and then everything falls apart. But if you can catch it early on, that's a good way to make sure, let's squash this.
So if you knew that they were going to the 2 people or 2 women model, I don't know if it was 2 women, but 2 additional people, how is it that didn't get communicated to Jess Hilarious, or at least it appears that way?
Well, I'm not sure what they communicated, but I know the plan always was, even when I was there, they were like, we should add another person.
Okay.
And so it was always like, okay, we're going to hire 2 people. And I feel like they've said that. So I'm not sure what was said.
They both did. They both kind of mentioned that this was always a part of the original plan. Somehow it was a shock factor.
Yeah,
something went
got
wrong.
lost in the sauce.
There was a breaking down of communication, and then she ended up blaming Charlamagne and of course DJ Envy for not protecting her in that moment. But then she pointed back to you.
Yeah.
Why did she do that?
She just said, I'm not crazy. And, I knew that.
But what was she alluding to?
You know what? I saw her one time. We had like a women's event, and we didn't even have a chance. It was all the women at iHeart. So we haven't really had a chance to even break it down. I think she meant it more as a compliment, like, Angela is not crazy. Because people thought I was crazy for leaving the show. Sometimes people think as the woman, you're the problem. And so when something like this happens, it's like, she's not crazy. Like, people, who knows who said that, but...
Yeah, I thought she was alluding to the fact that maybe you went through something similar behind the scenes and you can relate, and hey, she's not crazy and I'm not either. That's how I took it.
I think all of us took it that way. We were just like, wait, how did Angela get involved in this? And
right.
we love Angela.
I don't know. I haven't even had a chance. We saw each other. We were doing like these little group sessions, and we were like, we'll talk later. And
I'm sure you guys will
then I
brunch
left
very
to go to
soon.
Memphis.
Yeah, I hope that conversation happened.
That's definitely what it was, because after Angela, messing your name up, after Yee left the show, she went and did her own set of interviews and things of that nature, talking about how she felt like she wasn't being protected at the show and feeling that her voice wasn't being heard in its proper light. I think she doesn't want to harp on that information, which is why she's playing glib and obtuse in front of the Fox 5 audience. I'm not going to come down on her too hard, because I know that this wasn't when she went on this show doing an interview about the celebrity dish or whatever this is. I'm sure she wasn't trying to insert herself into this thing and try to, make her claim seem even more valid now that she's gone on and done other things. She's got her own solo show. She's had her own viral moments on her solo show. I'm sure she's much more happy doing things in her insulated space rather than being with Charlamagne and Envy at this point. So I'm sure she doesn't want to talk about that in that capacity anymore. But yes, when Jess Hilarious said Yee's not crazy for leaving, she clearly meant she wasn't crazy, y'all. There's a reason this motherfucker got up out of here, and I'm starting to see why. That's really what it is. We're going to keep it above. We're going to be honest. It's about another minute left in this interview. Let me get through it.
Because I think both women are equally talented in their own,
They
arena.
bring something different to the table. I think Jess is hilarious, 'cause, and then Loren is a journalist. So I think if they can figure out how to balance those things, and sometimes it's also the conversation of, okay, when do I jump in? Because I also think it's important before a break to sit down and be like, okay, this is what we're about to talk about. What's your point of view? What's your point of view?
We do that every day.
We do that every single day.
I don't know that they aren't doing that, but I think maybe that has to be something that's even more ingrained.
But then we're collaborating and not competing.
That's the difference.
And
one of the things that came out of this is just the conversation around, should people in workspaces, particularly 2 black women coming together, should this have been done on air? Should this have been or on social media? Should this have been a private conversation?
I feel like on The Breakfast Club, they do like things to play out on air. And so that's
They like things to play out on air. Just like the Birdman. Just like the Deezus and Mero. Just like so many other controversial episodes on The Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? Nobody stepped in and stopped the interview when Charlamagne was going to fuck in on Lil Mama and she was crying. You know what I'm saying? they feed off of that drama. They may have scaled back some of the more controversial stuff on the show as the hosts have, seemingly grown, but there is a drama element to the Breakfast Club that can't be overlooked, and she just confirmed that.
Argument that can be had, but it's also part of, I think, the allure of the show has always been people feeling like part of it. And so that show's been around for, 14 years now, 15 years. And so I think that part of what people like is they feel like we want to see the inside workings of what's happening.
Yeah,
and
breaking
so
that fourth
there's
wall.
nothing more inside. And then I think also Jess publicly put out her live, and so that is what is the reason why. How do you not address it at all?
That's right.
Because you can't just move on and people are like, what happened? Well, let's let it play out.
Got it. Well, thank you for sounding off. This is from the Queen, too.
The Queen. They needed two people to fill your seat.
Yeah, they need to sit down and talk. That should have happened first, actually.
Exactly.
All right, well, they say nobody wins when the
said
family
everything.
feuds. Actual families,
Right.
for real. That seems to be the case for the Braxtons.
Ye said, she gave them motherfuckers to push these niggas off me like, These niggas funny, man. Here we go back when she left. She says, being the only woman, that's always a challenge. Trying to have others understand your point of view and respect your point of view is not easy. I put a lot of pressure to go above and beyond, even if it's not noticeable to people. A lot of times I sacrifice my own life. I can't go out. I need to watch this show, or I need to finish this book. It really makes your whole life suffer. I could be laid up with my man and I can't even relax and go to bed because it's like I have to finish watching this, and I'm sure that's annoying. I think sometimes people don't notice things like that, and you don't want them to. You don't want it to seem like, it seems like she was up all night. You just want to feel natural and flow. So part of that is doing that extra work and making the guests feel respected, to know what you did take time out of your schedule to do that. So again, there is looming of being the only woman on the show, or being a woman on the show, period. She voiced, and I think there's even visual proof of her talking about this, but I'm not finna, sift through all these videos and stuff like that to find it. But I just wanted to make sure that we spoke on that, because she may not have wanted to in that interview, and that's all respect. But clearly it was some sort of issue up there about her, point of view as the lady. But yeah, now that we've heard from Angela Yee about the situation, now that we've heard from Loren LoRosa and Jess Hilarious, both from Jess's live and their interaction on the actual show, to now Loren having her own show, and, all of this different promo and stuff moving forward. Let me know what y'all think of everything that we've seen in the last week concerning the show, concerning these ladies. And let me know if you're going to continue to watch the show with both of them and look forward to what both of them bring to the table. All right. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like Soldier Rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.